You're listening to Keeping It 100 with Mel and Bruce, sponsored by the 100 Black Men of Las Vegas. What they see is what they'll be. I'm Mel Tiller, your host. I'm thrilled to be with you. And today's guest is author Tyesha Davis. Tyesha, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm thrilled to have you because you write children's books.
Yes.
So tell me this. How many children's books do you have?
So currently I have a total of 8 children's books, and I have 2 series. The first one is called the Shine On series, which is about loving the skin you're in, self-confidence. And the second series is called the Teddy's Terrific Adventure series, which is about the fun and the imagination of childhood.
Oh, those sound so great. Talk to me about loving the skin you're in.
Yes. And so with the Shine On series, I wanted to create books, first off, with character so that our children could see themselves and know that they are a part of the story, they are a part of the narrative, and that they do matter. So I always tell people my books are for impact. I want our children to pick up the book, see themselves, and understand that reading is a fun activity. Yes, it is for learning, but I want them at the age of between birth to 6 years old to really enjoy reading and learning about different topics and different themes. So with the Shine On series, it is pretty much to me like a love letter to our children. In the book, I really try to provide affirmation to our children. You are beautiful. We need you in this world. I talk about different career paths that they can do. I don't go into a whole lot of your skin is like this, your skin is like that, but I do provide positive images for our children.
Why did you think that was important?
Because I myself have a son, and he's actually 6 years old. And right around the time when I was looking for books for him to start him on this journey, he was about 2 years old, and I could not find any. Now there's so many books out there now, but this was around 2019, 2020.
Yes.
And I was looking for books with characters who actually looked like my son. And originally I was looking for books with normal everyday situations. He was really into dinosaurs, and I could not find a book with a brown character with a dinosaur. And that really bothered me. And, you know, our children like dinosaurs. Our children like to go to the zoo. Our children like pets and animals. And I could not find those types of books. So originally I was focused on creating books with relatable scenarios, things that our children loved, which is where the Teddy Terrific Adventure series came from. Now, how the Shine On series came about, I was sitting down watching the news, and it was another tragic situation with another Black man on the news.
Yes.
And I looked at my son, and I was thinking, this is the world that I brought him into. And I had a moment where I felt guilty, because I was like, wow, you know, it's not getting better. You know,
I can understand that feeling. Yes.
Yes. And I immediately started to write. And while I was writing, I was actually crying, you know, because in the book is Black boys shine on, you are beautiful. You know, Black boys shine on, you are needed. Black boys shine on, you could be anything you want to be if you work hard and achieve. And so those are some of the, you know, words that are in the book. And the whole time that I was writing it, I was thinking about my son. I was thinking about other Black parents and Black families. And I was like, how do we start this conversation with our little boys? How do we start this conversation with our children? You know, how do we teach them to engage and interact in this world without them losing their innocence? Everyone should have the opportunity to experience childhood regardless of the color of your skin.
So tell me this. Tell me this. You've written these books. How is it that our listening audience can get these books for their kids?
They can go to TyeshaDavis.com. That is TyeshaDavis.com. And from there, it will navigate you to my children's books or my women's poetry book series.
All right, so spell that out for us. I want to make sure that everybody gets that correctly, because as I'm listening to this, if I had kids, I'd want my son to be reading that book. So spell that out
Yes.
for us.
It is TYESHADAVIS.com. And I'll
So
also show you.
go ahead.
Wanted to show you. I also have one for the girls. Black Girls Shine On as well.
Okay, so Black boys shine on, and then Black girls shine on. What has been the response that people have been giving you? Feedback.
My most popular book is Black Girls Shine On. No matter where I go, I usually sell out of Black Girls Shine On. And then Black Boys Shine On is a close second. And I really do think that it is the images. Like I stated, I am all about impact. So whenever I go out to events, I love it when children come up to the table and they grab the book and they don't want to let go, right? That's what we want. And that's often what happens with each and every book that I have. I was just actually out at an event and there was a Black father and he had two daughters. And one of them grabbed Black Girl Shine On and the other one grabbed Day at the Museum. Now, this book is about Black history and culture, and both were holding on so tight. And he said, "You all only get one book." And the one daughter started to cry. And I said, "Sir, I would give that to you half off." Because I just want the children to have it. Because, when I was growing up, we didn't have books like this.
Yes.
Books that I was reading, I was really into the Chronicles of Narnia, Nancy Drew, Sweet Valley High. We did not have these types of books. And so when I see them come up to the table and their little hands reach out, I'm like, okay, what do we need to do so that they can get the book?
So you're traveling around and you're promoting the book. Are you also doing speaking engagements?
Yes. So I just got back from Harlem, New York. I was at the 25th anniversary of the Harlem Book Fair. And I did story time there. And I also spoke to the crowd about my books. The one that I was talking about there was Day at the Museum.
Yes.
I love this book. I created this book as an additional resource to parents as they are starting to talk to their children about Black history and culture. I have a 6-year-old, and my husband and we have often talked about how do we start this conversation. And what I really tried to do was to start out by talking about the beauty of our culture, right?
Yeah,
So
I love that. Yes.
Yes, the inventors and the pioneers and the activists and the freedom fighters. And so in this book, it does start off with the dedication page. And I'll just briefly read the dedication page. And it says, "Dear Black child, there was a time when education was kept from us, a time when we had to sit in the back of the bus, a time we could not pick up a book to read, a time we were praying and fighting to be free. Always remember from whence you came, and please don't let our ancestors' plight be in vain." So that's how the book starts off. And it's about
I love that, by the way.
Thank you.
I love that. That's wonderful.
And it's about a little boy who starts off going to the museum with his parents. All of my books rhyme because I am a poet at heart. I've been writing since I was a very small child. And I have a picture up here of one of the boats from the transatlantic slave trade, but I don't talk about it. So I tried to put images in here so if parents want to go deeper, they can. But it starts off walking around the museum. I am in awe of the displays. There are exhibits on Black inventors, activists, pioneers, and many others who have paved the way. So I try to make the language really simple, so that children can actually understand. The whole goal of reading is to make sure that they are understanding and able to actually apply what they are learning. And what I also like to do with my books is to make sure that there are opportunities for engagement. So simple text, quick reads. And so You know, we have our beloved Dr. King. You go throughout, and we have Harriet Tubman. I absolutely love me some Harriet Tubman, the leadership. You know, I used to always tell people that I mentored, like, do y'all realize the leadership and the courage and the fearlessness and the love of her people that she had to have to
Yes.
continue to go back again and again?
No, people don't realize the talent that it took, the courage that it took, the commitment that it took, and she did it again and again and
Yes,
again and again. To repeat that, her courage. I mean,
yes,
she is one of the great historical figures of all time, any color, any race, any culture.
mm-hmm.
Anybody wants to talk about courageousness, they want to talk about leadership skills. You cannot do that without having a discussion about Harriet Tubman because what she
Yes.
did was literally unparalleled.
Yes, and I'll just read what I wrote about her. Down the hall is an exhibit on Harriet Tubman, Black Moses, a sight to behold. She created routes to freedom, known as the Underground Railroad. Known as a great conductor, she never lost a passenger. Harriet Tubman used military tactics to stay safe and keep the runaway slaves from being captured.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
So I noticed that. Okay, so we talked about Dr. King.
Mhm.
That was pretty obvious. You talked about Harriet Tubman. What other historical figures did you mention?
So what I tried to do was bring it forward. So I also have in here Oprah Winfrey. I have Kamala Harris. I have Phyllis Wheatley. I have Richard Wright, Langston Hughes. Um, so I tried to kind of bring that timeline forward. And in the
Yes,
very
yes.
back of the book, I did lay out information if parents wanted to continue that conversation with their children. So there are dates in the back of the book with the actual events, so parents can continue that discussion.
I love that. I love the idea that we know your favorite historical character. Uh, Feedback that you're getting from the kids, which historical character do they seem to like the most?
I actually have not received any feedback from the children. Often, when I'm asked to read books to the children, the educator selects Zude.
I understand that. I
They
understand
select
that. Yes.
Zude. I did have one teacher tell me that she was going to read Day at the Museum to her first grade classroom. So that was something that I was kind of thinking about. I'm like, okay, will they be able to take these books into the classroom?
Yes.
Often,
Yes.
when I have had educators buy in bulk, is Black Boy Shine On, Black Girl Shine On.
Oh, I love that.
So, yes, those are my two books to where educators have purchased them, parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents, you know, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is the message that I'd want to be getting across to my kids too. Listen, you've been so great with your time. Love your message. Love your books. Please give us the contact information again, how people can get your books.
Okay, so you all can find me on all of my social media at author Tyesha Davis. So on Facebook, Instagram, author Tyesha Davis, on YouTube, author Tyesha Davis. And my website is tyeshadavis.com. And you can go on there and you'll be directed to how you can purchase my books.
All right, that is fabulous. I'd like to leave the last word with you. What would you like to leave our listening audience with?
We definitely need to be sure that we are encouraging our children to read. We need to lead by example. So our children need to see us reading. We need to take our time when reading to our children to make sure that they are understanding and comprehending, but also using that story time that we have with our children as an opportunity to engage our children.
We're living in a very important time.
Yes.
Our country is at an inflection point. Our democracy, our freedoms are at stake.
Mhm.
And those who will save us are the children.
Yes.
Please educate our children. Please let our children know how important they are. Let them know how special they are. Let them know that they shine. Let them know that nothing can dim their light.
That's right.
You've been listening to Keeping It 100 with Mel and Bruce, sponsored by the 100 Black Men of Las Vegas. What they see is what they'll be. I'm Mel Tiller, your host, and that's Keeping It 100.